Reports are coming in of a widespread chaos.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
So it's all set in Shanghai, and it happens over about 3 or 4 days. And Rios and Salem are in Shanghai at the beginning, doing a mission for their company that they formed at the end of the first one, which is Trans World Operations, or 2. And so they're kind of doing business as usual, mercenary stuff. And then all of a sudden, this big invasion hits, and it's a city under attack. Rios and Salem don't know who these guys are, why they're doing it, what they're there for, but they just want to get the hell out of there. So the story is more about Salem and Rios as a team getting out of this catastrophe and kind of who they are while this is happening, and that's where the player comes in and has an opportunity to kind of choose who they are in this world, and that's kind of where the story goes from. And this mysterious invading force is called the 40th Day Initiative, and that's kind of all anyone knows right now, and that's goes from there. And you can kind of dig as deep as you want into what these guys are doing and why they're there, but chiefly get the hell out of Shanghai. Well, I think from the start, there's definitely hopes for a sequel. We made the first one. That was kind of the idea. It was like, make this, and then if it's good enough, we'll get a sequel. And I think from the onset, it was Army of 2. It was always going to be colon something. It was never going to be Army of 2-2 or Army of 2 squared or Army of whatever. No, there's no 2-2s involved. Thank God. Yeah, so the first one, it was a little bit more linear in the co-op experience, so it was a very specific moments. You'd do a step jump, and then it'd be like, there's a co-op shield, and then there's the back-to-back, so it was, kind of more scripted out as to where it was going to happen. In this one, it's the idea of organic co-op is offering the players this co-op playbook that we've made, which is kind of this suite of moves that they can do wherever they want in the world and whenever they want, so the players can really choose how they want to represent themselves as characters in the world, and how they want to use the tools we give to negotiate the levels, right? So it kind of gives the players the freedom of playing in co-op to the extent they want to, and in the style they want to, which I think is really cool. And it's not just we're not telling you where to do it anymore. It's more about when you want to do it. We've added as you saw in the demo, the hostage grab, which is cool. We can use that in all kinds of different ways. You can even use guys' meat shields if you want, and there's that has some depth to it. There's the co-op mock surrender, which I think we've shown a little bit of, which is where one or both characters will surrender, and they'll be asked lay down your weapons, get on your knees, and it gives you some time to maybe one guy have flank, or you can quick draw and take them all out really quickly and buy yourself some time to figure out how you want to take care of it. That's a fun little moment you can use in the game pretty much wherever you want. The tagging is also cool. We've put it in there, so if a partner has a better vantage point on a scene, you can see the enemies, you can tag them for you, and then you can look in your GPS and see where they are and take them out by one with using the tagging system, which is a lot of fun. And that's, again, these systems are in the game all the time, and you can just use them as you see fit, right? It's not just kind of where and there will be moments where specific ones might be more effective, but by no means are they the only one. So it's kind of that idea of freedom. We've kept all the classic stuff as well. We've the step jump and the riot shields are in there as well, which I think is really, people like that stuff. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, I think it really fits the game for a couple of reasons. It offers a really interesting pace change in the game, right? So you're shoot, and then you're offered with this kind of stop and think for a second moment. We introduced it as kind of, it ties into a lot of the other parts of the game, this idea of choice for the characters, with the players, where they can choose how they want to represent the characters in the world. This idea of morality as a system where you can gain stuff from it or from taking either path, and that kind of adds into it as well. And also, it's an intrinsically co-op thing as well, a very co-op thing, because you get offered these choices. The one we saw at E3, what we were showing at E3 rather, was of this weapons cache, and you can either take them or leave them, and disarm a security guard. In that situation, all of them, if you and I are playing, if I hit the button first, I make the choice for the team, and we have to live with those consequences. So that kind of tension that we're putting between the players is who's going to make the call and what's it going to be. Is trying to like incite that dialogue and kind of if we can get players arguing on the couch or over Xbox Live, that's a huge win for us. We want to have that kind of, man, why did you do that? No, I don't want to do this. I want to do that guy alive. He's fine. He's fine. He's fine. I have that kind of sense of there's consequences in the world, and co-op isn't about our characters interacting. It's about you and I talking about it and figuring out how we want to represent ourselves in the world. It will affect the story. There are certain points that will affect the story for sure. It also affect the relationship that Rios and Salem are having. If they're going to be buddies, or they might start getting a little bit annoyed with each other. You get certain choices will offer rewards, other ones will not, or maybe you'll get a reward further down the road for doing it a certain way. And it also is a nice break in the rhythm of the game because it gives you this new challenge to think about. It's different from everything else. Obviously, the first game, Army of Two, had a great weapons customization system that people loved, responded really well to. Getting in there and having fun. Really tweaking the guns out. But that was really individual to the guns, and we as with the rest of the game, we really wanted to kind of improve every aspect of the game. Everything had to be a little bit revamped and refined, and the way we kind of found that to be was to blow up that system, so it's just going to be so much bigger and more robust. And the idea of Lego with guns came along, which is really cool, and really offers the player the freedom to kind of customize their arsenal the way they want to be seen in the online space, as well as the way they want to play in the online space. It's both, right? It's not just one or the other. So I think it's a really fun system, and there's various parts you can only get in certain places. So the system goes deeper into the game. So it's not just that one screen. You can certain guns can be only got by doing certain things. Certain parts can be only received by executing certain things in different ways. Civilians give you money, so you have more cash to play around with. So there's all these different kind of things that will feed into that, and it offers the player a lot of depth in the gameplay of the game. We do have winners. I can't say who they are and what they've done, but we do have winners, and they're awesome. They're really cool. So yeah, they're going to be in there for sure. In the first one, it was a technical thing. We kind of had to at a point, and obviously people were upset by that. They wanted to be able to play with their friend and wherever they were, and we worked hard and made sure that in this one that was not the case. So it's definitely people kind of expect that now. They want that, so we wanted to satisfy the fans on that front. So if you're in Stockholm and want to play with your buddy in San Diego, no problem, you can. It's kind of the multiplayer is we're kind of holding back on that a bit. I will say that the multiplayer is what people would expect from a game of this caliber. We've worked a lot harder on it this time around. It's looking really good. Extraction mode is kind of like you're going from point A to point B, fighting off, trying to get extracted out of this crazy war zone. You're 4 players together, and you're fighting off waves of enemies. So it's kind of fun. It's really intense, and you have to move at the right moments and kind of have that sense of urgency. It's a lot of fun. I think it's cool. It's a cool little spin on something that people are doing too. It's co-op. I mean, it's a co-op game built from the ground up for co-op. All the mechanics are made around co-op, and it's a game that's at its best when you're playing with a partner over Xbox Live or over PSN or hanging out on the couch at home. That's where the game really shines. And I mean, it's also very fun with a partner AI. It's a great game as well. But I mean, it's a co-op experience, and all of the game is about the co-op experience. And I think co-op has a different flavor than the single player games, because if you're playing with a partner, it's always different. You're going to have a different partner. It's going to be a different experience than it was last time. It's so which gives it this kind of this great kind of organic feel to it, where you can really dictate what the experience is going to be for yourself between you and your buddy, which is really cool. Yeah, so we're very, very aware of that, obviously, and we got some criticism on that as well on the first one, that the AI experience wasn't quite up to snuff. So we really addressed that as well, and worked really hard on kind of making him a more satisfying experience for the single player. So, in the first one, he was kind of like a little bit of a lapdog. You'd say, go there, or go here, and he would just do what you said. And this one, he's kind of more of aware of his surroundings, and he will not only suggest to do things, he might lead you in spots, and he just kind of has this sense of being a living, breathing character in the world, and not kind of this little lapdog that you can send around, which I think is really good. And we kind of focus on it's just a matter of polishing and where he does certain things and how he does certain things, and he's being able to take orders in the right way. You know, so if there's 40 guys over there and you say advance, he's not going to go running into them and just die. You know, he will say, well, you know what, I'm going to take cover and shoot at them, but give me a second, and I'll do what you say. So you know, he has that kind of sense of being an intelligent partner as opposed to just a shell that you're commanding. We're thinking about it, looking at it, talking about it. It's not for sure by any stretch of the imagination. It's something that we're involved in right now, and we might figure to put one out. It's possible. We definitely want to have DLC, and we're gonna plan to do it. I think it's just as to what it will be and when it will be, I don't know. We're still focusing on making this game as good as it can possibly be.
Worst zoo ever.